So now that we have set up our analytics and we know that we are now tracking data correctly, the next thing we need to do is to clean up our views under the UA property. The maximum number of views that a property can have is 25. Google recommends that you should set up a minimum of 3 to begin with. Besides the all website data view, which gets automatically created as your first reporting view when you set up your account, there are 2 other views that you should create: a test view and a master view. The reason for this is that your all website data view should be used as your unfiltered view. This means that you should never touch it or alter it so as to ensure access to your website's original data. The test view is for you to test out new things like filters before you apply them. The master view should be utilized for your analytics and final reporting. This means once you have tested out your filters to be working in your test view, you can then apply them on your master view. The best practice is to create your master view, test view, and your all website data view all at the same time, as a view only starts to collect data from the time that you create it. So, to create a new view, navigate to the admin section, which is the gear icon located on the bottom left-hand corner of your dashboard navigation. Once there is a blue button called Create View within the View section. Create your 2 new views, a test view and a master view, setting your reporting time zones correctly. The reporting time zone should be based on your location from which you intend to look at the data. If you set your reporting time zone to the US and your business mainly caters to Singaporeans, you would see most visits to your website happening in the middle of the night, as your reports are based on the US time zone. If you make changes to the time zone setting for an existing view, it may result in data discontinuity, which means that you may experience a partial loss of data collected within a 1 to 3 day range of your change with erroneous timestamps. Hence, it is always a good idea to plan your views before creating them and minimizing changes thereafter. You can see your 3 views by clicking on the drop-down under the Create View button on the admin page, and also switch between them. Let's switch to your test view as we move on to discussing filters. View filters provide a way to customize the data contained in a view. Filters allow you to include, exclude, or modify your data so that your data appears how you want in your final reporting view. View filters permanently modify the data for a reporting view it is applied to. There is no undo function for data that has been processed. Once you set up a filter, it can take up to 24 hours for your filtered data to appear in your reports, but it would be applied to all your data from that point onwards. You can create multiple filters per reporting view. However, be mindful that filters work in cascading order. This simply means that if I have 3 filters for a view, the first filter I create would be applied first on the data. The output from that filter would be processed by the second filter. The data output from the second filter would then be processed by the final filter. What this means is that you need to create the right filters and arrange them in the right order. For example, let's say you wish to show data for only 2 subdirectories, the courses and the blog section on a view. If I were to create 2 filters, the first filter to include only the blog section and the second filter to include only the courses section, I would end up having no data showing up in my view. This is because my first filter ends up removing data for everything except the blog section after processing the data. When the output from the first filter passes through the second filter then removes the blog data as well, as it only allows courses data to pass through, which it didn't find. The correct way to achieve the desired result here would have been to create a single filter that includes blog or courses. Sometimes filters require a bit of trial and error to get right. This is one of the reasons why you need the test view that you set up earlier. It is where you can test your new filters and ensure that it works before applying it to your master view. Even if the filter doesn't work, you will not lose important reporting data in your master view, as it is only applied to your test view. Generally, the reason you want to set up your filters is so that you can clean up your data so that your data makes sense to you when you are analyzing it, since not all data that you collect is useful for your marketing efforts. We'll discuss everything you need to know about filters in the next video.